It is Friday morning. It's been a while since I've jumped on a live. I think it's been like 2 weeks maybe or so. So I have a little lesson that I thought was a good one. Like it was one of those days. So school's starting up, right? And it's one of those days like I'm trying to get my son up out of his room and get him going and get him to school on time. Like I really try to get my kid to school on time. Okay. This has been something I've been working on for the last probably 4 or 5 years, where I just really want to be on time and not 2 or 3 minutes late. It's a thing. Okay. Like I live in the ish world. I'm very flexible with everybody else in my life. And I feel like elementary schools should be a little flexible with me too, but I know that they can't. I know it's unrealistic. So I've been trying to get better and get him up and have him enough time to prepare his mindset, get ready for the day, eat his breakfast, and then take him to school, preferably in a good mood. Okay. Sometimes, he has his moods that he gets into, but today was an interesting one. He got up actually before I did, and he decided to just kind of hang out in his room, not get dressed, not do anything. He just kind of sat there with his blanket over him, and just, you could tell like he just wasn't in the mood to go to school, to deal with me, nothing. So I know everything is about the way I react. Like I can start a fire by just my look. You know that motherly look, right? So I approached the situation very gently today. And I think that this is a really good lesson because I really sat here and thought about this for like the last 45 minutes to an hour. And I was like, this is so good. This is so good because this relates to the way we handle our businesses with our clients, just all of the things. So you're going to love this conversation because it's a fun conversation. It's a Friday. So let's kind of just talk about this a little bit. So my son, we just moved here to Illinois a couple months ago, like 8 months ago now. And he's still learning how to go outside and make new friends. And there's a couple kids in our neighborhood. So we've let him out. We're out there watching him, hanging out, letting him go play with kids. And he found a little neighbor boy across the street, and he was over there playing with him outside in their front yard and loving life. He had such a great time. Well, he came home with about, I'm going to say probably 15 to 20 mosquito bites. Like immediately we could see them on his legs, and we don't know if they were we'll call them chiggers or fleas or mosquitoes. I don't exactly know what bit him, but he got it. And I tend to get bit a lot very quickly. And I know it's kind of a blood type thing and everything else. So it's very genetic, I would say. Like we are definitely people who the mosquitoes love. Well, I didn't bug spray him. I didn't even think about it because honestly, I was inside working and Dad was outside watching him and things like that. So didn't really think about it until he came home and he has all these bug bites on him. And this is a new thing, him going outside and playing. So again, I've never really dealt with bug bites. I lived in Arizona. There's not a lot of bugs. You just watch for centipedes out there. And, I put some medication on him, some cortisone, and kind of just called it a day, and he was okay with it. Yesterday he dealt with them. It was okay. Today, totally different situation. Completely out of left field for a lot of it, okay? And it was kind of fun because it wasn't fun. It was kind of fun because I was just looking at this little 10-year-old try to really communicate his desires. And his desire was he doesn't want to go to school. It hurts. It doesn't feel good. It's itchy. It hurts, right? And so I think that you're going to love this. So the first lesson I had today was I'm trying to put him on, and he has one bite that has a little bump on top. You can tell it's got a little bit of an infection on it. So I'm putting medication on it. I'm putting some Melaleuca oil on it. I'm working it as if any parent would do, right? And so I put a little Band-Aid on it as well. So there it's kind of down by his ankle, so the sock won't mess with it or anything like that. He won't bump it on there, I also then go ahead and put all the medication on it. And then he's like, why do I even get these bug bites, in the first place? Why am I getting them? And I said, parenting fail, because they love to suck your blood. Whoops. This spun my 10-year-old out of control. I mean, out of control. Okay. Like it went from like, fine, I'll put my pants on. Okay, fine. Go ahead and put the medicine on. To, all right, fine. Go ahead and put a Band-Aid on. Fine. I'll put my socks and shoes on. To, that's it. I hate life. This is why I hate life. Mosquitoes should have sucked my blood and blood, like mindset, totally womp, which I thought by saying, because they like your blood, you're so sweet, would be a cute, funny thing. Not so much. Okay. So it started to make me think like he has a good point, right? Like we are intentionally, like if we think about this, like the way we talk to our customers, we're actually intentionally scaring off potential customers with our messaging. Like, are we doing that by saying things that maybe we think's cute or funny, but they're just not getting it, right? I had a customer the other day, a client, excuse me, and she was so excited. She had somebody finally message her in her DMs, and she just word vomited everything because she was so excited that they were there, right? And sometimes our business language really can be too intense or too technical or just too much all at once. So it's really important here that we simplify our messaging and we kind of make it more approachable and even relatable. Maybe a different approach that I could have taken with my son today is, I don't really know why they suck your blood. Or I shouldn't even say that. I should say something such as like, I don't really know why they like you so much, but next time let's make sure that we are taking care of you, right? Before you go outside, let's put the bug spray on or something like that. So when you're talking to your customers, this is a really good way. And I'll give you a really good like real life example of this. Let's say, for example, you are, let me think, you're in the health and wellness industry, okay? And you're in the health and wellness industry and you are thinking about talking about, trying to think really quick, like describing your product with like intense language, like this will eliminate toxins from your body instantly. It's so good. You're going to absolutely love it. Like you're just really intense about it, right? Well, the intention is probably really good. And the language that you're using is probably very normal for you with your peers that are all doing this. But to a customer, a potential customer, this can actually be really scary. And this could actually, scare them off. So we want to kind of lean in there with like a little bit more of a gentle approach. Maybe a gentle wellness boost versus, this is going to remove all your toxins and all your problems are going to be taken away, right? So you could definitely say something such as like, our products support our body, your body's natural detox process gently and effectively, and this approach is inviting, less intimidating and more likely to attract those actual customers who want to feel nurtured and even safe. So this is a really great way. And if I took that approach with my son this morning, it probably would have worked way better than saying the mosquitoes just want to suck your blood, right? So lesson number 1, don't say mosquitoes suck your blood. All right. So lesson number 2. All right. So now we're in the school drop-off line and this mosquito topic is still definitely on point. And my son asked me, like, why do mosquitoes even exist? Like, he's just hating the world right now. And he's just like, why do mosquitoes even exist? And I immediately thought to myself, without saying it out loud, I have no freaking idea. God created them. I don't know why mosquitoes exist. But I didn't. I didn't say it out loud, even though that's what I wanted to do because I was trying to get him out of the door. I pulled the car over and I immediately went to Google and I Googled why do mosquitoes even exist? And you know how Google, like when you start typing it in, it like automatically starts to populate? Well, my son's sitting next to me and I go, look, other people have asked the same question you have, so you're not alone. And he felt super excited. First off, like acknowledge that he's not asking a dumb question. So that was a great mom move, let me tell you. So that was good. And, we actually learned it together. We learned that mosquitoes have been around for like 412 million years or something of the sort. There used to be water mosquitoes and there's regular mosquitoes. And we learned all about mosquitoes before I actually got him out of my car into the school this morning. And he actually calmed down because he got an answer. Like, I didn't have the answer. I didn't really know why mosquitoes exist and like what for. Like, really, it's because, I mean, if you want to know, it's because other plants like expect to eat them. So that's the purpose of them, you know. And so I didn't really know why, but I knew that there was a moment here that I couldn't just like brush off this conversation. And I started to think about like, when I'm working with clients, or even with when my clients are working with their customers as well, like, what does this look like? And like, what's a real life example of this? Because it happens a lot. And I remember like not having to have the ego and learning how to remove my ego out of a room when I was working in a room full of other consultants who we were all equally very smart. But we were all smart in different areas. Like, somebody would be really good in accounting, and somebody would maybe be really good in sales and marketing, and somebody would be really good with like technical stuff. And somebody may be really good with HR. So I had to learn really quickly to remove my ego and learn how to ask the questions, versus thinking I always had to have the answer. So that's the first one, is like, don't spiral yourself out of control if you don't know, and don't just brush off, you know, like, I don't know. Like, you know, I mean, here's the real life piece of this, is that like, you know, take the opportunity to really educate your customer on the value of you and the service that you can provide, and helping find the answers with them or for them, or helping them like go search for it, and then you guys learning together. I think that's a really good thing. So here's a good example. Let's make this like industry or something specific, like a business specific kind of example. So a service-based business might receive a customer inquiry where they're trying to figure out like why their service is higher than their competitors. I bet you've probably thought this or experienced this. Instead of taking the time to explain the value of your service, they might actually brush it off with a generic response like, that's just our price, right? Like, you might just say, well, that's just our price. Other people like to word vomit, kind of like from lesson 1, like we just over explain because we're like, well, this is why, because da 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 da, right? I don't know if that's what you do, but that's what I used to do, right? And now we can actually step back and we can say, you know what, let's just take the time and educate the customer on the actual value of your service. Explain those added benefits, explain your unique features, like what makes you different. This is where your unique selling proposition really comes in. Like, what makes you different than all the other people online that are in your industry or on your street if you're a brick and mortar business. I used to work with a lot of HVAC clients, and we would tell them in boot camp, like I'd have like 40 HVAC business owners all standing there like, okay, what's different from yours, Bob, to yours, Bill? You know, and they're in different countries or in different states. And what was different? They always said, well, our service, our call time, our, you know, it was pretty similar, right? And so you always want to kind of think about too, like, what is it that makes you unique in here? So think about like what builds trust and can turn a price question into more of a value focused conversation that convinces them to choose you. Now, I say convince very softly. Like, I'm not here for the hard sell. I'm more for the way I approach sales is, let me share with you what I can do for you. And if it's a good fit, great. And if not, that's okay too. There's no hard sale in here. I mean, people should be coming to my discovery calls or my strategy calls or wanting to work with me because they've already gotten to know me and they've already said, you know what, I really want to work with her because she can get me from A to Z, right, in my business or with my mindset or whatever it is that they're coming for me for. So that should be the same with you. And a lot of that comes down to the way we are positioning ourselves and the way we're communicating about ourselves. And so this is a really good lesson that I learned by just thinking about, why do mosquitoes even exist in the first place? It's kind of fun, I think. I don't know. Do you guys ever get questions that are like this, that are like just random questions, maybe from your kids or your spouses or whomever, and you're just like, I don't know why you're asking me this question, but there's a lesson here, right? Or there's an experience here that there's a lesson behind it. So look at my cute little cup. Isn't that cute? It's got a little heart. All right, so last one. All right. This is a good one. My son now says, Mom, mosquito bites should be a valid excuse for a sick day. I can't walk. My legs hurt. I don't feel good. I don't think I can wear my shoes today. I don't think I can do blah, 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 blah. As a parent, you're already thinking like, you got a mosquito bite, you're going to school. Now, he does have more than one, so I'll give him some credit. But my son's logic is not logical, right? And he has to go to school. So, I mean, mosquito bites are hard to deal with no matter what. So, you know, in his mind, he's like, that should count as a sick day. So it's kind of a great reminder that, like, with empathy within our business, that sometimes what seems to be such a small issue to us, this is a good one, could be a huge deal for our customers. Huge. It could be a huge deal. Understanding their pain points and addressing them with empathy and can make really the biggest difference in building those strong relationships. You know, what they are frustrated about or they're thinking about could be so big. Like, I had a client once that I was like, okay, let's just work on time blocking. And that spiraled her completely out of control. She agreed to it once, like, yes, let's work on this. I need to work on my schedule. But then when she actually sat down to do that work, it became so overwhelming to her because she had lists all over the place, and she used planners, and she used virtual planners, and she used Google Sheets and Google Calendars. And it was just too much for her to like pull it all in and streamline it. And so what she did was she actually just like froze. And so it didn't help her. So I had to like kind of slowly coach her through, like, let's grab this one thing and like look at it and see, is it still relevant? Right. And so we never really know, like, as we're working with somebody, you know, maybe what landmine they're going to step into, or how they are going to feel about it, maybe after a coaching call, or after they leave your office, or after they sign that contract, or any of those situations, right? So something that could be really small to us that just doesn't make sense can be a really big thing for them. So let's break this down, just like we did the last two, and give a real life example of this. So a small business owner might dismiss a customer complaint about a minor issue, right? Like slow shipping or a product that didn't just quite meet their expectations. So thinking, it's not that big of a deal, right? Like for us, maybe we say, you say like your product will get there 5 to 7 days and it showed up on the 10th day. You're like, well, I'm sorry, it took a little longer, not that big of a deal. But to that customer, if we back it up a little bit, that customer might be like, I bought that gift for my grandmother's 99th birthday, and I didn't have a gift, and I expected it to be there, and it was a big deal for them and a really small deal for you, right? Like, obviously, as a business owner, you feel bad that like you didn't meet that expectation, but maybe it wasn't that big of a deal for you. So here's how you can win in this situation. First off, acknowledge the customer's frustration, right? Even if it seems really minor to you, like this is a piece where you can kind of offer a small gesture or a goodwill, like a discount on their next purchase or a free upgrade or something of that sort. You know, it's not going to fix the problem. Maybe that gift should have been there earlier, but maybe this is where I've been talking so much, my voice is literally going out, I think. But, you know, this is where you can kind of back it up and say, hey, you know, let me try to figure out how to win you back and go the extra mile by turning a potential detractor into a loyal customer here. So this is a way, like, really, you really want to think about this one, because I think that this is probably one of the biggest mistakes most customers or clients of mine that are small business owners are making right now, is just they're not really listening to their customers, and they're not really being able to, I'm going to say, fix it. They're not able to fix it or calm them down or make them feel better. They just don't know what to do. So this is the part where I would like for you to like walk away a little bit and be like, let me think about these things, right? Because we've talked about a couple different topics right now. Like one was, don't say things that are going to scare off your potential customers. That's the first one, right? The second one was specifically like, show them the value of you and go help them find the answer to the questions. And then the third one was, let's try to find an answer and let's make them happy and kind of move them forward. So that's kind of what we've been working on and we've been chatting about, if you've been hanging on here. But, I think the takeaway here with this whole conversation with my son, my 10-year-old, right, about mosquitoes, is that, our clients might be unintentionally pushing customers away. Your clients, mine, might be pushing clients away. If you're a coach and you're coaching other coaches like I do sometimes, your clients might be pushing customers away and they don't know why. They don't know why because they're so friendly to you and they're so friendly to everybody else. But maybe when they get on the phone with somebody, they're just kind of like straight face and there's no communication. They're not relatable. They don't feel approachable, right? So these are some good questions and topics to even talk about with your customers. Like, what are your thoughts? How do you handle situations like this? And really even looking like this, like missing opportunities to really educate your audience, I think is a good one too. Like teaching them your value and teaching them kind of those, like the FAQs are really a good place. Everyone's always like, oh, I think I have FAQs, but then the FAQs are like, can I get a refund? Right? They don't really like teach on like, why is this important or how to implement, or even maybe to dive in a little bit deeper. Like, I don't know if you've ever taken a course and you're like, man, I really like, it makes sense, but I need a little bit more. So you start Googling or you start YouTubing, or maybe you go buy another course or buy another book and you're like, hey, I need to continue down this rabbit hole because I'm not clear yet, right? This is where you can start to turn some of this opportunity into FAQs and really start educating your clients on what it is that you value, or what a value to you. Excuse me, I said that wrong. Like what it is that you like, why they come to you, and how to add more value to their business and to kind of work through that. The third piece here is really by simplifying your messaging and taking time to educate and leading with empathy, right? You can really build stronger relationships and grow your businesses more effectively. So if we just step back here for a second, like this moment in time was so quick, but there are so many lessons that I was able to get out of this because I see them every day in my own business. I see them every day as a parent. I see them in my clients' businesses as well. And I really thought it was important for us to just have this conversation today and just share it. I didn't want to come on here jumping around, or I just wanted to share this because it was like, wow, these are really good things. Like I scared my son by saying mosquitoes suck your blood, and that landed us here. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I would love your feedback on this topic. If this is something that you got some takeaways from, or any other thoughts that come with this as well. I hope you guys have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.